Living Leesburg. So the theme for 2025 is Rising Higher, Growing Deeper. And the theme for the month of April is Fertilizing Our Future. The title of our talk today is Holistic Growth, No Quick Fixes. And it will be given by our wonderful Reverend Charlene. We're so glad that you took some time out of your day to join us. Happy Easter. If you have any prayer concerns or celebrations, please make sure that you include those in our chat section. And when we get to that portion after our message, when we do our prayer, which we call spiritual mind treatment, Reverend Charlene will be sure to include what you shared with us. That's all I have to say to kick things off. So sit back, relax, take a deep breath, and enjoy our welcoming video. Please join us as we create our sacred space. We set our intentions of deepening into our awareness and practice of our 5 pillars of spiritual living by lighting this candle in our virtual world. Our first pillar is sacred study, represented by the divine quality of truth. We use this pillar to recognize the importance of an open mind and the power of our minds. The second pillar is affirmative prayer, represented by the divine quality power. This pillar honors the power of prayer in our daily lives. Our third pillar is meditation and the divine quality of peace. This pillar reminds us of the importance of meditation and the peace we feel when we quiet our minds. The fourth pillar is circulation and the divine quality of life. We know that the great law of circulation works in our lives. As we give, so shall we receive. And the fifth pillar is sacred service and the divine quality of love. This pillar affirms our call to be a service to our world as we see through the eyes of love. Let us close our eyes as we bless this sacred space and our time together. As we weave each of these pillars of spiritual living into our service today, may they deepen our own spiritual practices of study, prayer, meditation, circulation, and service, expanding our minds and our hearts to the 5 divine qualities of truth, power, peace, life, and love. We also bless everyone who made our service possible today and everyone in attendance. May the energy of love that is generated here bless everyone abundantly. And so it is. And so it is. So now is the time for our meditation. And keeping with the theme of the month of April, fertilizing our future, today during our meditation, we're going to plant a whole bunch of I am seeds. You ready? So sit back in your chair, take a deep breath, and hold it, and release. Take another breath, and as you breathe in, try to focus if there's any place in your body where you're carrying some stress or tension, and try to release it. Hold that breath, and release. Wonderful. So during this meditation, you can repeat some of the key words that you hear, those I am statements, or you can just sit back, close your eyes, relax, and just let the words come into you and speak to you. Here we go. The first one. I am abundant. I am blessed with all the things that bring me joy. And just think about all the abundance, all the many, many blessings too numerous to list. They fill your bucket till it's overflowing. Think of all the blessings, all the abundance in your life. I am abundant. And here's our next little seed, our I am seed. I am worthy. I am worthy of love. And I am full of love. Again, that bucket is overflowing so much that it not only covers myself, but it splashes out to everyone that I meet. I am worthy of love. Take a moment, think of all the people who love you, just as you are. And think of all the people in your life who you love, who are so important to you. I am worthy of love. I am a powerful force of good. Oh, I'm going to repeat that again. I am a powerful source of good. What I do in this world ripples out. I pass a stranger and I smile. Maybe that's just what that stranger needed, that little bit of goodness to help him or her through the rest of the day. That act of kindness that I showed to a neighbor or a coworker or a friend or someone in my family. We never know those little tiny gestures that we do, those little moments of goodness can be so powerful. The effects can be long-lasting. I am a powerful source of good. Next one. I am beautiful, perfect, whole, complete, and I radiate positive light. I am beautiful and whole and complete, and I radiate positive light from within, like a lamp, like a beacon, like the sun. It starts inside and it just radiates out. And everyone that I come in contact with can see that. I am releasing old behaviors which no longer served me. They were good at one time, like that shirt you outgrew or those shoes that you outgrew. They served a time and a purpose in your life. I needed them at that time, but now I am releasing old habits, old behaviors that no longer serve me. So what takes its place? Here's our last I am. I am embracing new behaviors which now serve my mind, my body, my spirit for me at this time. They fit. They're what I need. They're what I choose. They're what I create. I am embracing new behaviors that serve me now. Feels so good to plant those I am seeds. Like I said in the beginning, you can take one of those seeds and really hold on to it, plant it deep, nurture it, water it, remind yourself that that seed that you planted is growing every day, building your future. You could choose a couple. Sometimes we like to have a bunch of different flowers in our garden, right? It's your choice. It's your life. Namaste. And now it's time for some music by Soul Pajamas.
Good morning. if you're wondering why Dan is banished in the back there, it's because I have COVID and we are trying to social distance. So anyway, this is this is one of my favorite songs that Dan wrote with some other people, and I think it just says it all. So we'll just do it. I grew up in the church, the house made for God. I prayed and felt nothing, thought it was my fault. I waited for answers, but did not hear a sound. I was afraid God didn't want to be found. When I was 14, I strayed from the fold, got lost in the Badlands, day and night in the cold. A medicine woman came to me in a dream. I swear I was awake when she said to me, the land is a prayer and church is the sky, an open cathedral, a natural choir, the wind in my face, the twilight at dusk. The earth is the house God made for us. I jumped to my feet, I gave thanks to the sky, thanks to the ground where I slept, to the tears in my eyes. In one holy moment, I saw everything new. I said, there you are, God, I've been looking for you. The land is a prayer and church is the sky, an open cathedral, a natural choir, the wind in my face, the twilight at dusk. The earth is the house God made for us.
Back in the city, my troubled mind was calmed. God must have been here in my heart all along, and in colors of nature from heaven's own brush, in the house made for us.
The land is a prayer and church is the sky, an open cathedral, a natural choir, the wind in my face, the twilight at dusk. The earth is the house God made for us. The wind in my face, the twilight at dusk. The earth is the house God made
That was a beautiful song. I was taking notes. I love everything about that song. There are certain lyrics, and the way, Dan and Aaron, the way you just hit those keys, it just brought it all home for me. Music is just amazing, the way it does what it does. So thank you again, Soul Pajamas. And of course, Tamara, what would we do without your wonderful, insightful meditations? Oh my. So let me get myself together. Hold on. I want to turn off the original sound that I had on. I don't know. I guess it's fine. If you hear background stuff, it's just normal. So welcome. Happy Easter. Thank you for joining. Today is such a great day. Let me tell you about the convergence that's happening on this day. So we have Easter, yes. It's the Christian, the day of renewal, where new life is celebrated. And of course, the story of new life is not based, the story of new life did not start when Christianity was coined. No. Turns out that there were all kinds of spring festivals happening around this time of the year. Speaking of new life and resurrection, oh my, look at how the trees bud. They come forth with life. And that tree just a month or two ago looked like it was deader than a doornail, didn't it? Yet now, with the mixture of sun and power and it just, now life is springing forth where maybe we would have thought, oh, everything's dead. Resurrection, am I right? And that's not it, because we are talking about the earth, because Aaron and Dan sang about how, sure, you can create an artificial structure and show up in this artificial structure called a church building, and you could think that that's the place you're going to find the divine. And when that does not happen, are you going to abandon the thought of the divine? Or, because in that song, she found a medicine woman, a native born, a person that didn't get that far from their roots, literally. And that person explained, oh, the earth is our chapel. Outside, everything, it's the land is your prayer. Oh, well, of course, now that makes perfect sense. So I think because today is also Earth Day, or I guess it's tomorrow, it's right around now, Earth Day, that is the perfect blend of Easter, renewal, Earth Day, taking care of our planet, and not relying so much on the social structures that may have been erected. Don't get it twisted. A lot of these structures were erected to control us. What if we took away the middleman? What if we don't have to go through a hierarchy of authority to get to the divine? What if it's right where you are, wherever you are? How about that? Oh, the freedom the glimpse of freedom that we might get when we realize, oh, we have access to the one because we were never really separate from it. That is some story that has been sold to us, and in our innocence, we swallowed it hook, line, and sinker. And then when it couldn't deliver the goods, really making us feel the way we're meant to feel, something about us realizes, hold on, I feel like maybe we're not supposed to hate the other. Perhaps there's some love your enemies as yourself. Maybe there's a forgiveness factor. Maybe there's some teachings. And again, those teachings didn't start with Jesus. Those teachings of love your neighbor as yourself, forgiving one another, and just wanting the best for them and not judging them, that didn't start with Jesus. This is ancient wisdom. This is the golden thread that Ernest Holmes talked about. Ernest Holmes, the founder of religious science, which is sort of the backing of all of the centers for spiritual living, he found that, oh my, as I study all the religions from ancient to current, there is a golden thread that is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. There's the kindness, the love, that if you were to just look at the core teaching, that is the key. So why are we fussing about the 2% difference? That is the difference between certain religiosity. That's a nice little term. I didn't coin it, but I like it. Why are we fussing if 98% of the teaching is, yeah, love each other, support each other, be a community, and all these rituals are so we get closer to one another? Why then are we doing holy wars, full-on fights about the tiny little ways in which we differ? It's just, if you think about it, it's ridiculous. So as we talk today, we have these two kind of cooperative themes: resurrection of Easter, the Earth Day, but I want to start with this one topic, and I'll take you into how might you change the way your life is showing up. Because listen, when Tamara took us through planting the seeds of I am good enough, I am divinely led, and I release anything that doesn't serve me. These were the seeds we planted in meditation. And notice how she ended it. I embrace the divinity that I am. I embrace my next yet to be. I am stepping into my fabulousness. That's exciting. I get it. So how would you actually do it on an individual level? I am qualified to help you figure that out. How you can take what you're doing every day and nurture those seeds of where you're trying to go. I'm highly qualified to do that piece. I'll talk to you about that now. But there is a section of my talk that gets into Earth Day. And you know I'm not an expert at that. I am still learning. So I have recruited the help of an expert to help us when we get to that piece about Earth Day. A very familiar face shall fill this screen, and she will give you very good insight on how we can take what we learned about how to make ourselves better and apply it to our beautiful Mother Earth. And at the end of this talk, I'll come back and I'll talk to you about how resurrection really applies to all of this. And that's the structure of today's talk. So I'm so excited. Easter being that special day, it's just great. So the first part is all about habits. I know, right? So you planted a seed. Congratulations. Now, what are your daily habits? If what you do day to day does not support the vision that you had while you were planting the seed, that seed might not thrive. So what we want to do is think about what we do want. What is it that we're embracing for ourselves? Once you've released any ideas of I'm not good enough, and you've released any ideas that you don't deserve it or you're not worthy, once we release that, we're stepping into the embrace. What is it that you want for yourself? So let's say that what you want for yourself is to meditate more. Let's say I want to meditate more. I want to know the divine inside and out. Well, what the recommendation is to do what they call habit stacking. Have you heard of it? Habit stacking is a special form of an implementation intention. This is the I want to do it, but here's how. Habit stacking. So here's how it works, and it's done by someone. It was coined by a person named B.J. Fogg. This Fogg with 2 G's started a whole Tiny Habits program. So if you're interested in more, definitely Google that. But for now, here's what he says. Habit stacking is a special form of the implementation of your intention. Rather than pairing your new habit with a certain time and a certain place, you pair it with a current habit. Something you're already doing. Do something that you want to do. Pair the new thing with the existing habit. This method is used to design a sort of cue so that you can get into the goal of going for what it is you want. And I love that he says, now BJ Fogg, not sure if it's a he or she, but they said, instead of pairing your new habit with a time and place, why don't you just mix it with what you're already doing? And I will refer you back to our earlier discussion today, just now. How many times do we think that in order to meditate, we have to go to that particular temple, sit on that particular cushion, light the incense, light the candle, if we're going to add that much level of difficulty, listen, we're never meditating, is what I'm saying. If meditation is your goal and you think that you have to do it in a particular cathedral, well, just like the song, no. First of all, you can do it anywhere because the whole planet, the sky is your cathedral. And so we do it. We just anchor that new meditation habit with something we're doing right now. So for meditation, maybe what you'll say to yourself is this: after I pour my cup of coffee, because I'm sure to do that every day, I will meditate for 1 minute. That is a habit stacking kind of talk. Now, what about this one? What if it's exercise? It could be, after I take off my work shoes, I will immediately change into my workout clothes. So there's this stacking. You know you always come home and take off those uncomfortable shoes. Why not? And some people say, why not put a nice and clean exercise outfit next to where you drop off your shoes so that you could slide right on into those workout clothes and do the next thing. It can go on and on. Whether you're trying to stack habits to reinforce gratitude practice, improve relationships, or just improve your feeling of safety in the world, that could go from just saying grace when you sit down for dinner. After someone comes home, walks in the door, make it a point to say hello. Come find them and say hello and ask them how they're doing. Or just, if you want to make sure that you stay safe, create some routines, even on your devices, that automatically lock the door at a certain time at night. These are the things that are meant to support us, and we too can use these tiny micro habits as they're stacked upon other things that we're already doing, and it's more likely to stick. So that is the idea of personal growth and personal change. And of course, you'd have to do this every day in order to get that seed to start growing. But speaking of seeds, you know, I don't have a lot of experience. I look at my garden and I go, I wish I could love you the way you need to be loved. The physical garden outside. It's a journey. And you know who I always rely on to help me with this is the one and only Erin Johnson. Of course, she is your Earth Day specialist. So Erin, would you like to share with us any information about how we can take small habits and focus on Earth Day?
Man. Let's see. Well, before overriding the habits of really connecting to nature is the need to understand the source of oneness in our world. Like, you know, we often think oneness is this metaphysical concept, you know, and some people say, oh, that's very woo-woo, oneness, you know, that kind of thing. But oneness is basically nature. I mean, nature is the original source of connectivity, of collaboration, of community. That's where it started. And we are part of that, and we used to be completely embedded in that community, but we've kind of lost it. So the first thing you have to do is really, and I don't mean this is just an intellectual exercise, you really have to read things, think about this, feel things to try to understand that oneness starts with nature. And there's some great books. I'll mention 3 authors. One is, and I'm going to talk about her in a minute, Robin Wall Kimmerer is one. Another one is Barry Lopez. And the other one is Wendell Berry. They're all different, but they all have the same kind of message, which is about the community, the collaboration in nature amongst every living thing. So then the first habit really is, how do I cultivate a relationship to nature? You know, if you live indoors or in buildings or in cars all day long, I don't know, what kind of relationship to nature do you really have? And so that's like the habit you have to cultivate. It sort of doesn't matter in my book what you pursue, but it has to be real. It has to be, you can't do it with AI. You have to get outside. You have to have a tactile feeling relationship to nature. It can be in the park in your neighborhood. It can be in your backyard. It could be on your back porch. I mean, it sort of doesn't matter, observing birds, for example, but you have got to develop a feeling, sensory relationship to nature. Without that, you will never understand the meaning of oneness in this way. So there's a lot of interesting things that I could tell you to do, which you know about, plant a garden, compost, join the Christmas bird count. I mean, there's a lot of things you could do. And you're imaginative, intelligent people. I'm not going to make a list for you. You don't need it. But I do want to give you a couple thoughts. And this is from Robin Wall Kimmerer's book called Braiding Sweetgrass. And it's really it's kind of like a Bible if you really are, if you're one of these people. Anyway, so just to give you context, she is a scientist, she's a teacher, and she's indigenous. She's from the Potawatomi tribe, which I believe was originally part of the Mohawk Nation in northern New York. They were, of course, shipped away when they did that to all the Native Americans. And she's back there. She teaches. We found out yesterday in Dream Group that she teaches at one of our Dreamers' local universities, and somebody got to hear her read in person, which was kind of an honor. Anyway, so this is Robin speaking about her path. There was a time when I teetered precariously with an awkward foot in each of two worlds, the scientific and the indigenous, but then I learned to fly, or at least try. It was the bees that showed me how to move between different flowers, to drink the nectar and gather pollen from both. It is this dance of cross-pollination that can produce a new species of knowledge, a new way of being in the world. After all, there aren't two worlds. There is just one good green earth. So the September pairing of purple and gold, that's in the leaf color, is lived reciprocity. Its wisdom is that the beauty of one is illuminated by the radiance of the other. Science and art, matter and spirit, indigenous knowledge, and Western science. Can they be goldenrod and asters for each other? When I am in their presence, their beauty asks me for reciprocity, to be the complementary color, to make something beautiful in response. All right, so now I've got for you something you can practice. This is going to make you laugh maybe, but anyway, I'm serious, okay? So she's talking to us about something we do not have in our language, that is Western English. I don't know about French or Spanish or anything else, but so, and it's called the language of animacy. And so, for example, there's many inanimate objects. So if you see an inanimate object, like let's say this, you can see the metal file cabinet behind me. That's an it. But when her tribe and other native tribes speak of an apple, they say, who is that being? That being is an apple. So Yahweh is their word, the animate to be. I am, you are, he, she is. To speak of those possessed with life and spirit, we must say Yahweh. So in other words, they don't say, oh, the tree is a thing. Oh, which means, oh, I can cut it down. It's just a thing. That animal, it's just a thing. I can, who cares if they all go extinct? It's those bugs, who cares? So that's what has happened to us. We have lost the realization that everything mostly is animate. And they are our brothers and sisters, and they nourish us as much as any power drink or anything else you want to think about, probably more. And so here's my challenge to you. I want you to go outside and talk to something outside. I mean, now I will just tell you what I do, so you can say that Aaron is weird. But there's two things that are going to happen when you hear this. And so let me just say, I often will, when I'm planting, I'll say, you are so beautiful today. Look at the colors. Look at your colors and how the sky illuminates them. I really love you. You're so beautiful. Out loud, right? Now, you may say, oh my God, I'd be embarrassed. Someone might hear me say that. Well, that's a sign that you are disconnected. I mean, we all are, so don't feel guilty. But that's a sign. So you need to practice that. I don't care how you do it, but here's something I do every day. I'm a bluebird freak. I have nurtured bluebirds for 20 years. I mean, I host them. I have the privilege of hosting them. So I have a box, and it's a nesting box. And I have a bluebird couple right now, and they're getting very close to doing the deed, and we'll have 5 little blue eggs, and I'll pray and defend them and hope that they make it, But every day I talk to the bluebirds. And yesterday, for example, every day, the sparrows keep trying to impinge. So and the bluebird will fly in, the male bluebird, and he'll chase them away. And I'm like, way to go, Daddy Blue. You are defending your box. Good for you, right? And sometimes I get so bad, I go out of the house and I stand on the deck. The bluebirds stay for some reason. So this is interesting. Maybe they know what I'm doing. Who knows? I'll say, sparrow, you are not welcome here. Leave. And the sparrow will fly away. So, this sounds woo-woo, but it isn't, because they are beings just like you and me. And I challenge you to try this as an exercise. Plus, it's really fun. You go hug a tree and hold the tree and talk to the tree, you will feel something. Anyway, I could go on and on, Charlene. But.
No, that's really good. Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate everything you do for us. And wow, so my neighbors are just going to have to deal with me hugging that tree. That's all I'm going to say about that. Hold on. I will now pray us out. I do want to say this. Wow, okay, I took some notes. The cross-pollination hits home with me. Thank you for that. And the animacy thing is Yahweh, because I've heard of other people calling Yahweh another name for God itself. So if we see other beings as part of God herself, then wow, what will that do to how we embrace each other? Just energetically. Even if you don't change anything else, your energy will feel probably a little softer if you're looking at everything as part of the divine. So really quick, I just want to talk about resurrection. I know right now we're in some crazy times, right? And if I hear the word unprecedented one more time, so I just want to point out this, that when a caterpillar starts to move toward its state of dissolving into the goo, which is inside the cocoon, which then reanimates the actual emergent butterfly or moth or whatever. This is the thing. While it's happening, the imaginal cells, the ones that are going to become the moth or the butterfly, those cells are very few at first. And the more that this goo keeps going on, then the becoming cells start to proliferate, start to take over, and they start to actually inform the whole goo that is the insides of that chrysalis or cocoon, whatever you want to call it. Here's the thing. Right now, we are the imaginal cells, each one of us, who we're connected to something bigger. I know we also see the world. We see how it seems to look right now, but it's up to us to hold that higher vision of where we would like to grow to. Yes, it starts with ourselves. It's all we can handle, all we can control is ourselves and our own attention. But if each of us does that, then isn't it true that we can have a larger effect on the becoming of it all? Someone has to start it, someone has to do it. And so there is a world earth prayer thing happening right now. I'll get some links and share them with you after the talk. But we're part of something bigger, and we're guiding the outcomes because of what we're paying attention to. It's absolutely true. And listen, even if you're skeptical about how we can do something that changes the world, okay, don't believe that part. Can you at least be the resurrection in your own life? Can you at least choose differently today? Follow Aaron's advice and go outside and interact with something as if it has a personality and watch what happens. Even if you don't believe in anything bigger right now because you're just so convinced that what's happening right now is real with a capital R, fine. I'm not going to take that away from you. But can we just make a difference today in the ways that we can? I hope you can. I know that I will be chatting outside real quick with a few things. I'll let you know how it goes. All right, let's go within and have some prayer because it is definitely time to pray. I'm checking the chat. All right. So going within, I just know that there's only one divine energy happening right now. That is the energy that we both feel, that you and I, right here, right now, whoever's listening to my voice, tap in and feel that energy of being one with the earth, even if it means imagining it at first, or going outside and just putting your feet in the grass at first. We could feel that oneness. It's who we are, and we've never strayed that far from it. It is just right here, right now within us. We don't have to go anywhere to feel that connection. So since we are one, and since the divine is everywhere present, and since we don't have to go anywhere to feel this presence, feel it now. This divine energy, the same energy that created all that is and all that will be. This is the infinite realm of all possibilities. That energy is us. It's acting as us right now. It created us to express itself as us. And why not? There's such biodiversity. Why not the divine as me, the divine as you? Why not? And so in this moment, since we now are really aware of that the connection, the oneness with the divine, we also feel that connection with one another, that we are the community, we are that web, we are Indra's net, where each of us are a shining jewel on a net of connections, and where every single one of us reflects the light with everyone else. My facets reflect your light. Your facets reflect my light. Every one of us just moving on this beautiful net of connection. We're not separate. We never were. So we get to embrace our true nature. We get to release anything that doesn't serve us anymore, and we get to move into the greater yet to be, the greater yet to come. And we hold that vision, high vision, not only for ourselves, but for the planet. Because that is what creates. Our high vision creates. And so I speak my word for Julie, her father, Robert C. Butler. On this day, this anniversary of Robert C. Butler's passing, we call him forth. We feel that presence because there is no separation. Right here, right now, Robert C. Butler's energy moving through. Because there's only one. I'm so grateful to be able to see this, to speak this, to know this truth for all of us. And I just cannot wait to watch and see how this community keeps moving forward as we embrace who we really are, as we get outside and do what we're called to do, how we bless everyone, everywhere, because of who we are. I'm so grateful for this. I just relax and I just know that everything I spoke into the universe is already becoming so, because the universe always says yes. So I release my word into the law and I just let it be. And so it is, and so I am. Ashe. And Soul Pajamas now have music for us.
All the earth is sacred. Every sandy shore, each golden leaf and rich forest floor, we come together on common ground, setting our fears aside. We gather round. We'll live in peace when finally we've found we share a holy common ground. One sky overhead,
One sky above us,
one earth at our feet,
sacred ground,
prosperous land, so honey sweet. We come together on common ground, setting our fears aside. We gather round. We'll live in peace when finally we're found we share a holy common ground. If we could only look deeply in each other's eyes, we'd see a heaven on earth, and we'd realize that we'll live in peace when finally we've found we share a holy common ground. We share a holy common ground.
That was wonderful. Thank you so much, Soul Pajamas. Thank you, Reverend Charlene. And I want to give a special shout out. Thank you, Aaron, for sharing that wonderful book and your personal experiences and advice. And I have to share this. If you know Dr. Seuss and you know the Lorax, he says, I speak for the trees. Lauren, I speak to the trees. But today I'm going to go out and have a few kind words from my new azalea bush that I planted recently. All right, folks, now is the time that we bless the donations that come to us at CSL Leesburg. You know that you heard in our opening video, we believe in the law of circulation. As you give, so shall you receive. And everything is always flowing. Everything is always moving. So our money moves too. We take the donations that you give to us. We give to our home organization, as well as to other organizations that support our vision of creating a world that works for everyone. There are many ways that you can give. Odds are you've found one that works for you. If you're new to us, just take a look on the screen. And we want to tell you how much we appreciate what you give. Because of what you give, we keep it going. All right, let's do our blessing of our gifts. Please join me. The presence of spirit within me blesses everyone I meet, tends to heal everything I touch, brings gladness into the life of everyone I contact. Therefore, I am a blessing to myself, to humankind, and to the day in which I live. And so it is. And now it's time for our announcements. Dream study. So the folks met yesterday and they had their dream study. If you're interested in joining Charlene and her friends, is that true? The next one will be May 17th. That seems like a month away. Is that true, Charlene?
That's wrong. So
Okay.
take away 14 from 17 and you got the right date.
Okay. So if we go 2 weeks from this last Saturday, that means that our next dream study will be May 3rd. So May 3rd at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, join Charlene and friends. I like the little correction there. Join Charlene and her friends. They talk about their dreams. They share their dreams. They interpret each other's dreams or help each other interpret their dreams. So this is something that we do on alternating Saturdays. And we welcome you. Mark your calendars for May 3rd, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. All right, let's see if we have anything else. Yes, Spotify. So on Spotify, the spiritual tune-up, you can listen to some of our services. I believe there's the music there that's included. There's the meditations. So if you missed something, or if you want to go back and hear one of our Sunday services, you can go onto Spotify, go to the spiritual tune-up and join us. We'd love to have you support this new way that we're reaching out to you. And friends, you can tell friends about it too. All right, folks, now it's the time that we do our closing, but I just want to remind you, as always, if you can, hang around with us. We know that you might have some commitments today. You might have things on your to-do list that relate to the Easter holiday. If so, we send you off with our love and blessings. But if you can stay, hang out with us. We do something called Pearls, where we take those little nuggets, those little things from our service, our message, our meditation, our music that just resonated with you, something that you'd like to question or explore further. And we just kind of hang out and do our little virtual coffee hour. So if you can, please stay. If you can't, just join us with our closing affirmation, and then we'll send you on your way. So here we go. Take those words in. I am love. I am so powerful. I am love. Thank you. Love how you're unmuting so I can hear you. Now look at somebody or send this message out. It can be somebody who's near you. It can be somebody who's far, far away. Like Charlene said, we believe that we are all connected. You can even send this, you're going to love this, Erin, to a tree, to an apple, to a flower, to a bird. You choose something that you would like to send love to. Are you ready? Let's do it. You are
You
love.
are love.
You are love.
Ooh, I felt like a tsunami of love going out there into the universe. And now remind yourself and join us in saying, it's all love. Here we go. You ready? It's
It's
all
all love.
All love.
love. Nice. Thank you so much again for joining us today. If you can, please stay. And if you can't, then know that we send you off with our love and our blessings.